The coolest people you will ever meet in your life, no matter where they are in their life, they're the kind of people that say, what is ahead of me is bigger and better than what's behind me. And they're people who are always looking towards the future. They're people who are building really cool things. Greg is one of those guys. He's doing great things, and he is awesome. And quite frankly, I, right now, at this very moment, am standing between you and a really great future with Greg Blake. So let me get out of the way. Ladies and gentlemen, Greg Blake.
Thank you. We're ready. Are you ready? We're going to see how physically fit you are to engage people. So everybody stand up. Here we go. Yep, stand up. 2 fists over your head, please. 2 fists over your head. I'm going to ask you 10 questions. For every one that's a yes, you will put a finger in the air. The goal is to get all 10 fingers in the air. We're starting with 2 closed fists. Here we go. Number 1, I do not smoke. Number 2, I do not smoke anything. I get 6 to 8 hours of sleep per night. Next, I eat 5 to 6 veggies per day. Fried okra don't count. Next, I exercise 3 times a week. Next, I drink 5 or less alcoholic drinks per day at work. Next, I do not snack between meals. Next, I'm within 5 pounds of my ideal weight. Do not look at the person next to you to determine that, however. Next, I eat breakfast every day. And the last one is I drink 6 to 8 glasses of water per day. Cool, have a seat. Here's what it means. If you are female in this room and you had 7 fingers up, you're going to live 7 years longer according to the American Medical Association. Gentlemen, if you had 5 fingers up, you've got weeks left. It's over. Now, if you want to go look at a great website, come on, write this down. Get your pen out now. Come on, use your neighbor's hand, something, okay? We're going to take some notes. Okay, we're going to move fast. We're going to take some notes. Here it is. Write this website down. I use this all the time when I train a lot of law enforcement people. We've got some here today. The average law enforcement officer lives to be 58 years of age. Some of these guys are in their 50s. They ain't got much time. Now, Death Clock, all one word, deathclock.com. Deathclock.com. When you go there, they'll ask you your weight, they'll ask you your BMI kind of thing. Takes about 2 to 3 minutes to finish it, and then it will tell you exactly the month, day, and year you're going to die. Now, the bad part is it starts ticking down like the national debt over here. I guarantee you some of you ain't going to look that up, okay? Now, here's the facts. Our world is going to remain unstable and unpredictable for the rest of our lives. True or false? We cannot predict, guys and ladies, the twists and turns our lives are going to take. We can't, okay? We're going to continue to be astonished, confused, confounded, shocked, stunned, terrified by world and economic events that are completely out of our control, i.e. the Bostons, Ebola, Amtrak, Nepal earthquakes. Come on. These are things that are out of our control. And usually the things that we can't control are things that cause us not only colitis and diarrhea simultaneously, okay, but we get worked up. It's a fact. Now, Churchill said this, you make a living by what you get. You make a life by what you give. He said, do you give to get or do you get to give? He said, do your giving while you're living. A little too late when you're in the casket. Great book. You ought to pick it up. It's called Be a Go-Giver, Not a Go-Getter. We are living in days of entitlement when everybody going to get a trophy. Now, when I grew up, it was first, second, and third place, and you went home without one if you didn't get one of those places. Well, we're now living in a time when you owe me. I owe you nothing. Listen to me. Gandhi said, you be the change you wish to see in the world. The late Margaret Thatcher said, if you have to tell people you're the leader, you aren't. I love that. Now, in this day that we're living, folks, and you all are representing companies here, and I don't care if it's 2 people in the company or 1,000 people in the company, you have to lead differently. We have grown up, some of us that are boomers, have grown up in a kind of leadership style that's what? Controlling, commanding, conniving, condemning, condescending, cynical boss. Anybody ever work for one? Don't raise your hand, they could be sitting next to you. Next. Now, if I'm a controlling, commanding, conniving, condemning, condescending, cynical boss, I'll get compliance from my people. I will not get commitment. There's a huge difference between getting commitment and getting compliance. Now, the leader we need today, and this is in IT, this is in sales, marketing, law enforcement, don't matter where you are. This is the kind of leader you need today. You might want to write a couple of these words down. You need a person who's compassionate. That doesn't mean warm and fuzzy, touchy-feely. You need somebody with compassion. The word compassion has 2 words in it, compass and passion. Your passion will give you your compass, and your compass will tend to give you your passion. We got a lot of people today taking jobs for money instead of their passion, and then they get in it, and then they hate it. Take a job based on your passion, the money will come. Now, you need a compassionate, here's the words, committed, courageous. That means you've seen some fear in your life. You've experienced fear in your life. You need a compassionately committed, courageous, character-driven. What's that mean? We need people who will speak the truth, not misspeak. We have become so politically correct that we use all these, well, he misspoke. No, he lied. We need a compassionately committed, courageous, character-driven, cheerleading doesn't mean pom-poms. It means somebody who can inspire and excite people. A cheerleading, competent coach, not a boss. And I'm going to tell you, it is hard to change mindsets. I have a term I use every time I start a class. It's called educated incapacity. What that says is this: the more I know about a subject, the more difficult it is for me to see things differently. The more I know something, whether it's IT, whatever, the more difficult it is for me to see things differently. Now, Samuel Johnson, great author, 18th century, said this: people like to be reminded more often than they like to be instructed. And I'm going to give you some reminders today. This is not Wharton School of Business. This is just practical common sense that I'm finding people aren't doing today. So look at your sheet. You got a sheet there. Here we go. We're moving quick. Here it says, I've given you there some numbers. Here's what the numbers mean. This came out of the Harvard Business Review. 17. Doesn't make any difference what size your firm is. You can have 30 people. You can have hundreds of people in law enforcement. You can have charter, spectrum. Doesn't matter what size the company. 17% will be highly engaged at work. Just 17%. It's been proven. That means 17% are the people who are making it happen. Listen, guys and ladies, don't overwork them. The people we tend to overwork are the top stellar performers. You do that, they'll burn out, or they will leave, and usually will go to your competition. They ain't good. Next number. 65% tend to sit in the middle. They're the B performers. They're scary because they can go either way. They can go up or they can go south. 65%. Last group, the 18%. These people will do their best to undermine the top 17. And they have their ways. Believe me, they have their ways. And we're going to talk about it in a couple seconds. Okay? But that's that 18%. You do not have a morale problem. In your agency, in your company, morale is a symptom. As morale dips, and hear me, I travel almost 200 days a year. I see this in Fortune 100s, 500s, Fortune 10s, don't make any difference. Seen it all over town here. As morale dips, notice I didn't say plummets. It's just got a dip. As morale dips, cynicism surges. And apathy and mediocrity set in. Seen it time and time again. You don't have, morale is a symptom. Until you get rid of that attitude, it will continue on. And it will impact your organization. And it only takes one. Things tarnish when exposed to contaminants. It can be at the lumber company. Okay, we get the idea, oh, it's only in corporate America. Ah, you kidding? It's everywhere. 18. Next number. 50. I want you to look at people at your table. Come on, look at the people at your table. Don't stare at them, just kind of look at them. 50% of the American workforce this morning is medicated. I saw some of you walk in here. They're medicated. Now, what are we medicated for? Come on, what are we medicated for? Anybody, come on, yell out. Let's go. Allergies, stress, cholesterol, sleep, yeah, blue pills, all kinds of stuff. We're medicated. Now, next number, scary number, came out of the Wall Street Journal last year. 60. 60% of the people in your company are going to look for a new job when the economy improves. Proven. I will tell you, in Houston and in Tulsa and in Oklahoma City, they're boom towns. They're booming. And guess what they have problems with? Retention. They're having a hard time holding on to their superstars because people are leaving for an extra $1 an hour. Understand that. What would you do, guys and ladies, if 60% of your workforce is checking out jobs and you don't know? They could be on monster.com right now while you're here at this lunch. You don't know. Scary number. Next number. Came out of Fast Company magazine. How many of you read Fast Company magazine? Everybody in this room needs to read Fast Company magazine. If you are going to find out what in the world Gen Y is doing, you better read that magazine. Gen Y, we're going to talk about them in a second here. They're a whole different breed, boomer. Okay? Now, here's what they said. 68% of people in this country believe their boss is a psychopath. Now, if you think you have a psychopathic boss, read this book. It's great. It's called Snakes in Suits. Snakes in Suits. Don't ask me, I can't remember the author, but read that book. It's fantastic. Snakes in Suits, if you think you've got one. It's interesting how many people are writing down that book title. Now, next number. This just came out from Deloitte. Okay? Deloitte Index, December 2014. 80% of people woke up this morning and went to a job they did not enjoy. Did you get that number? 80% of people, according to the Deloitte Index, taken in 2014, went to a job this morning they disliked. That's scary. Next number. 95% of people in this room feel used up at the end of a day. Anybody identify? Come on, we're exhausted. We get home, what are we doing? We're tired. Now, here's a scary number for your company, and especially for these guys. We are missing 1.7 hours of sleep a night, average person, U.S. That's 632 hours a year. You take that 632 hours a year, somebody working second shift, working third shift, does that impact safety? Does that impact my mindset of how I'm working on a day-to-day basis? That's huge. That's 632 hours of lack of sleep. Most of us in this room are exhausted. I saw how many people were yawning just after they get in here. Okay? We're beat up and we're tired. Next number. 10,000. How many are familiar with Malcolm Gladwell? Okay? Come on, you got to be familiar with Malcolm Gladwell. Malcolm Gladwell has just written a fantastic book. It's called David and Goliath. And in that book, David and Goliath, he says this: the average person in an organization takes 10,000 hours before they can become proficient enough in their organization that they can do their job in their sleep. He gives an example of David and Goliath. David, at that time, we think, oh yeah, he just wound up and hit him in the forehead and Goliath dropped. No. David went to slingshot school. Okay? Those guys were so good with slingshots, they could wind up at 100 yards and down at the end of the football field, nail the dude right there, and he's dropped. That's how proficient they were. Now let me give you what 10,000 hours is. A 40-hour work week times 50 weeks a year, that's 2,000 hours. That's 5 years before somebody becomes so proficient they can do their job in their sleep. When the Beatles came to America years ago, they had spent over 5 years playing in pubs in London before they became proficient here. When Jobs made the computer, the Mac computer, he spent hours watching his father build kitchen cabinets. And as a young boy, he said to his father, "Dad, why are you putting good wood behind the kitchen cabinets?" "Nobody's going to see that." He said, "I'll see it." When he built that computer, he determined he was going to make that computer as beautiful on the inside as well as on the outside. Now, don't go home this afternoon and tear your computer apart to see if that's true, okay? That's what he said. Now, passion. We're going to see how good you are at your passion this morning, this afternoon. Put both hands under the table, please. Keep them to yourself, too, by the way. Okay? All right. These are 10 questions. I want you to keep track of your yeses. Okay? Keep track of your yeses. Number 1, I feel less than completely satisfied with my life this afternoon. Yay or nay? Not well, kinda. No, yay or nay. Next, I do not feel I'm doing my best or achieving the most I can. Next, I do not feel excited about my day-to-day activities. Next, I often feel stuck or unable to change my current mindset. Next, I'm not sure what I want to do with the rest of my life. Next, I do not know if my job is my true calling in life. Have I been called to this? Next, I would do what I'm doing today even if I didn't get paid for it. That's easy on Friday. Next, I often feel uninspired when going about my daily routines. Next, I would love to pursue new career opportunities. And the last one is I'm apathetic or uncertain about my future. Now, you can put your hands up now. Here's what it means. If you scored 1 or 2 yeses, congratulations, you are living your passion. Some of you are going, uh-oh, I'm in trouble here. If you scored 3 to 7, you need to ask yourself, is what I'm doing what I've been called to do? What I've truly been called to do? If you scored 8, 9, or 10, you're suffering from PDD, passionate deficit disorder. I didn't find mine until I was 50. I was working at a car manufacturing company north of us. I was making good money. And you know the deal up there. I got a new car every 10,000 miles, baby. 747 Li made for my body. And I hated going into work because it wasn't my passion. I wish I'd found my passion when I was 25. Now, I have found it because I love what I do. Listen to me. Love what you do and do what you love and do it better than anybody else sitting in this room. I am dead serious. If you find your passion, you will never work another day. I haven't worked since 2001. How about you? Yeah, whatever. Loser. Now, here's the next thing. The top 5 reasons why I will join a company. Come on, write this down. Come on, it's important. Don't matter what company. They studied this. Gallup did this since 1968. They have done this every 4 years. This has never changed. And they've done it across section from healthcare, industries, law enforcement, don't care who. They have done this, and here are the top 5. Number 1, recognition and appreciation. Let's do the test. How many of you have gone to the person you report to and said these words in the last 7 days? I've had it up to here with your recognition of me. Anybody? There you go. Next. Next. Challenge my specialties and talents. Challenge, that's different than overwork. Challenge my specialties and talents. You put me in IT, I will commit murder, and the chief will come and arrest me. Because I'm not an IT person. I'm not a cubicle person. I'm just not. That's not my makeup. I just can't. They put me in one. When I was at BMW, they put me in one. And the lady next to me every morning came in, and she did this for 8 hours. For years. The person on the right, I don't know if she got the wrong pair of pantyhose or whatever, but all day long she's doing this number. I call them scratch and sniff. They drove me nuts. Listen, you might move somebody to a different position and they'll soar. Come on, it is vitally important that you find people's specialties and talents and put them there. Next, allow me to make a contribution. No one wakes up in the morning and says, I think I'll go to work today and screw up. No one says that. Come on, allow me to make a contribution. I hope you're at your organization or agency, wherever you are, and I am making a contribution. Like Gandhi said, I want to change one person. If I change one person today, it'd been worth my drive over here to Embassy Suites. Come on, folks. Next one. Listen to and value my ideas and opinions. Notice I didn't say, I've got to buy into them. I didn't say that. But listen to me and value my ideas and opinions. Last one. Big one. Ferguson. Baltimore. New York. Your company. Your organization. Treat me with dignity and respect. I don't care what color, culture you came from. I extend my hand, whether it's African American, Asian, Hispanic, Philippine, you name it. Why? I treat people with dignity and respect. In our home, we have a 17-foot-long dining room table. Anybody comes to our home gets to carve their name with an ice pick on our table. We've been doing it for 39 years. I've had hundreds of people in my home. Hundreds. And I've got my son here to testify to it. And they carved their name. Saturday night was our favorite night. That's the night we sanded out the old boyfriend's names. You know what I'm saying? Now, listen. Memories. Memories. Treat people with dignity and respect. I used to be the diversity specialist for Denny's. Need I say more? And we got Bob. Bob knows. That cost that company millions. Why? Treating people with dignity and respect. Come on, it's a principle, folks. Do it. Now, next one. XY. Here it comes. And by the way, those 5 reasons I come to join a company are the same 5 reasons why I leave it. Wasn't recognized, wasn't challenged, wasn't allowed to make a contribution, wasn't listened to, wasn't treated with dignity and respect. Duh. Now, if you're born in this room, you should know this by now, from 1965 to 79, stand up. If you were born from 1979 to 1999, stand up. All right, look at the people sitting down. It's because they couldn't stand up, even if they tried. They're old, man. They're about real close. Now, if you were born from 65 to 79, do this. Born from 1979 to 2000, 1999, do this. Look around. This is Gen X and Gen Y. They're a different breed, aren't they, Boomer? Come on, what do we know about these people, Boomers? Oh, you can put your hands down. Okay, in fact, you can sit down, okay? Come on, what do we know about these people? Come on, what do we know about Gen Y? Come on, what are they? Anything. Come on, go. Tech savvy. Grew up with computers. Entitled. Yeah, come on, what else?
Connecting.
Yeah. Now, yeah, here are the 5 things you must do for Gen Y. If you do not do these things for Gen Y in your company, hear me, they are going to leave. Trust me. I had people that came to BMW for one reason, to get BMW on their resume, and they're gone. They've got to do these 5, guys and ladies. You must. And I know some of you are entrepreneurs and you're just starting up and you're trying to just stay alive. I understand that. But listen, you have got to do this. For every person that leaves your organization, it takes a minimum 1.5 times their salary to replace them. That is a ton of money. Now, Chick-fil-A don't have that problem. Chick-fil-A has a 1.7% turnover rate in a 200% turnover industry. Why? Because they hire a different creature behind the counter. That's why. Now, you ready? Here it comes. Number 1, They want feedback on their performance. And that is not the once-a-year performance appraisal. That are usually done late, by the way. Which now what have you told them? Next. And by the way, Google, Facebook, giving their people feedback daily. How so? Through a text. Here's what you're doing well. Here's what you stink at. Here's what you need more of. Here's what you need lots of. Gone. Every day. 100,000 employees. Next thing they want. They want professional development. If you do not provide professional development, I'm going to tell you, listen to me, and you can say the big dude that spoke at embassy. They're going to leave. Now, what's the first thing that is always cut when things get tight? Always. Always has, always will be. Next, biggie. They want a balanced life. They're not into the 17-hour days. They're not into staying with a company for 40 years and getting a gold watch like Grandpa did at GM. It ain't happening. Next, biggie. Tell them why you're doing this. Now, they're owed that. Tell them why. And because I said so, don't work. Now, it might have worked the boomer days. It doesn't work these days. Tell them, why are we doing this? What's the outcome going to be? They want to know. Those are the 5. I'm going to give you a bonus. Ignite their soul and excite their heart. Give them something that just turns them on. Ignite their soul. Excite their heart. Hugely important. Now, here's the last couple things here. You'll see down there, obtaining talent philosophy. See that on the page? Right in the middle. Now, hire A's. Train your B's, that's the 65%, to become A's. And eliminate your C's. Here's what I'm finding in most organizations I'm speaking at. We're holding on to C's way too long. Now, I give them an opportunity to move up, but it ain't long. You either move up or you move out. Start the paperwork. If you've got an HR process, start the paperwork. Now watch this. Hold on, we ain't done yet. Here it is. Notice what it says. Hire talent, not experience. Is there a difference? Go. Come on, talk to me. Come on. What's the difference between talent and experience? Anybody, yell it out. Let's go. Okay. Huh? Results?
You can teach experience, you can't teach talent.
Okay.
Potential.
Could talent be a problem? Yep. Yeah. Anybody ever heard of Terrell Owens? Great talent. Problem. Anybody heard of a guy named Dennis Rodman? Great talent. Big problem. Hire talent, not, well, I've got 25 years experience. That could be 1 year of experience repeated 25 times. Next, watch what it says. If a person has passion and attitude, but may not be getting you results yet, keep them. I'll say it again. If a person's got passion and attitude, but may not be getting you results yet, keep them. Why? Why? Okay, they'll get there. I cannot teach passion and attitude. You either got it or you don't. Notice the next line. If a person has no passion and a negaholic attitude, but they're getting you results, fire them. Why? Come on, it's about results, isn't it? How'd they get those results? Crucifying everybody on the way up? Come on, folks. They could be some of your best talent. They could be a captain. They could be a sergeant in law enforcement. They could be a VP. They could be in the C-suite, CEO, COO, UFO, anybody will know. And be a problem. I've seen it happen, guys. I'm not, I'm still almost 65 here. I'm not stupid. I've been around. I am dead serious. Move them out. That's why you never put a sign out, I'm not hiring now. You're always hiring. Always. Because you don't know who you're going to have to get rid of next. And by the way, fire people the way you would like to be fired. That's a little principle. Notice. Anybody in here gutted a deer? Dee, what's that like?
Pretty gross.
Thank you. They tell me if you hit a certain sack, that's not real good.
Yeah. Bad.
Now, getting rid of people is like gutting deer. It ain't real pleasant. But I'm going to ask you, do you have any of these? Do you have any whining, griping, complaining, cynical, mood-shifting, clock-watching, rolling the eyes, just get buyers? Got any of those? I had a lady I worked for. Yeah, you won't know. I'm not going to tell you anyway. At the Greenville Hospital System. Every morning I walked into my place of employment. I was in charge of going to the front door to watch her come to work because determined by the way she had her hair parted, determined whether or not we were going to have a good day. If it was parted to the left, don't go out of your cubicle. It's going to be a bad day. And she'd walk in and I'd be at that glass door and I'd see her coming. Left! 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 What does that mean? Now, isn't that sad that that's how she was remembered? By her mood shift. That's not good. Now, down below, measuring stick. I'm going to read you, again, 10 questions. Keep them, track of them, yes, on your hand. Here we go. This is the measuring stick to know whether or not you've got a great place to work. Okay, here it comes. Keep track of your fingers. Number 1, I know what's expected of me at work. Okay, I know what's expected of me at work. Next, I have the equipment and material I need to do my work right. Next, I have the opportunity to do what I do best every day. In the last 7 days, I've received recognition and praise for my good work. Next, my leader cares about me as a person and shows it. Next, my ideas and opinions are listened to and valued at work. The mission, vision, values, and purpose of my team is so clear, I feel I'm making a valuable contribution with my talents. Just a sideline. Most mission statements are way too long. They hang in a lobby and they're in a gold frame collecting dust, and they are way too long. The greatest mission statements are 5 to 6 words in length. In other words, they could be read going up 85 at 65 miles an hour. Okay? Listen. They need to be understood by a 12-year-old and can be quoted at gunpoint. Most people have no idea what their mission statement is. I tell this when I train. I do a ton of training in law enforcement. That's why these guys are here. But most of them are way too long. Every department in your business, I don't care how small this is. I don't care if you got like 10 people and there's 4 departments. Every department needs their own mission statement, vision statement, and value statement that supports the organizations. Most people have no clue, no idea. Now, here's the next one. My coworkers are committed to doing quality work. Hope that's a yes. And here's the last 2. In the last 30 days, I've received feedback from my leader and discussed my progress. And the last one is I've had opportunities to learn and grow in the last 6 months. Cool. How many of you had all 12 yeses? Cool. There's a Hubble. Where do you work, ma'am?
I work for myself.
Yeah, cool. Anybody else? Anybody else have all 12? Listen to me. If you can have your people check all 12 of those, you'll have less than 1% turnover. That's true in any organization. It's been proven. It's been proven. So do that. Here's what causes us the problem, however. It's the toxic employee. Anybody have any toxic employees? Let me just read this real quick, because we're almost done. About 10 minutes, okay? Toxic is defined as containing poisonous material capable of causing death or serious debilitation. Extremely harsh, malicious, or harmful. The term toxic is reserved for the worst kind of leader. Failure to rid toxic people from an organization is the equivalent of negligence. Every organization or agency has individuals who are well thought of by those above and below them in the organizational hierarchy, while being despised by others. Leaders can be insulated from the effects of their failures, making them seemingly bulletproof. Toxicity is hard to detect when things are going well. Much as a snail leaves a trail of slime, a leader's toxicity to an organization leaves a track easily visible to those in the line, but often invisible to those higher in the chain of command, until a failed critical incident can occur. Why can't a toxic leader recognize his or her toxicity? Much as a skunk is incapable of being offended by its own odor, the toxic individual is unable to self-identify as being the source of the problem. It's your blind spot. And everybody in this room's got a blind spot. What's yours? You don't know. But everybody else does. You all know your blind spot. These two guys right here, they know the chief's blind spots. They ain't going to tell them. Is that right, Joe? Yeah. Now listen. We've all got them. I'm not arrogant. Well, everybody else says you are. I don't play favorites. Well, everybody else says you do. Beware of your blind spot. You've got them. So do I. Last part. Here it is. This is a great book. I'm going to give you two great books. I want you to write these down. I read 2 books a week. Phil and I were talking about this before today. 1 out of 4 people do not read a book this year in this country. 1 out of 4 will not touch a book, not look at a book, not read a book. So here's the deal, right? If you read a book in the last 30 days, and Dr. Seuss counts, please stand up. You've read a book, cover to cover, last 30 days, stand up. I'd ask for the title, but we aren't going there today. Now, have a seat. How many books do you think the average person reads in the United States of America a year? How many books? How many books? 5. Close.
4.
Nope. A fifth of a book. It doesn't mean a fifth with a book. That means a fifth of a book. Now, I read 2 books a week. Because I get a lot of time at airports. Here are my 2. Got to write these down. These are good. Now, this is not a, I'm going to tell you something now, okay? You got to trust me on this. This is not a bribe. If you want my reading list for 2015, give me your card. I'll send it to you. I'm not going to spam you. I'm not going to give a sales pitch to you. If you want my reading list, I'll be glad to send it to you. Just give me your card at the end. I'll send it to you. Okay? Cool. Okay? Great book. People Over Profit. Written by Dale Partridge. Fantastic book. People Over Profit. FedEx has got it right. Their mission statement is people fund profits. What's most of corporate America? Profits, no fun, kill the people. Great book. Just came out 2 weeks ago. Brand new. People Over Profit. Next book, The 5 Languages of Appreciation in the Workplace. This is written by Gary Chapman. He's the same guy that's written The 5 Love Languages. Fantastic. Okay? Here's what he says. There are some people who love recognition and appreciation. There are some people who like acts of service. They like somebody on staff to work and help them on a project. There are some people who want quality time with the person. They want to walk with them at lunch or whatever. There are some people who like a tangible gift, stuff. There are some people that like physical touch. Be careful. It's a lawsuit waiting to happen. Now, here's the last points I want to give to you. And that's this. You're changing. True? Well, let's try it just for the fun of it. Stand up. Come on, stand up. It's the last exercise. And we'll be done. All right? I want you to find a partner, please. Just find somebody. They don't have to be at your table and move around. Just find a partner. Come on, find somebody. Find somebody. Make this long here. Okay, cool. Got a partner? Cool. Face them. Face them. Now, here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to study, no harassment now. I want you to study this person, paying attention to every single detail from head to toe. Study them out carefully. Go, quick, come on, study them out. Pay attention to every detail. Every detail. Okay, everybody got the details? Turn around, back to back. Turn around, back to back. Now, without noise, no noise, I want you to change 3 things on yourself. Don't rip off your sticker. No noise. Change 3 things on yourself. Come on, anything. Don't get naked. Just change 3 things on yourself. Come on, change 3 things on yourself. Very good. Good. Change 3 things on yourself. Very nice. Very good. Nice. Good. Okay, now when I say 3, you're going to turn around, you're going to tell each other the 3 things you have changed. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, turn around, tell them what they've changed, please. Tell them the 3 things they've changed. All right. Now, how many got all 3 correct? About 7 or 8 of you. That's pathetic. Now, here's what I want you to do. Here we go. Everybody, please fold your hands. How many of you have the right thumb over your left thumb? Cool. How many have the left thumb over the right thumb? That would be the other half of the group. Good, whatever. Now, do the opposite. Feels weird, huh? Cool. All right, now fold your arms. Cool. Now fold them the other way. I don't think I can do that. I'm a doctor. Oh, yeah, great. Listen, change can feel uncomfortable. True or false? Now, have a seat. Here's the last 3 things. Some of you ladies are going through the change. I am married to one. In the middle of the summer, fans ablazing in January. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Now, go back and look at your high school yearbook. What were you thinking? Now, here's what you do when you're going through change. Because every company and every organization here is going through change. You're going through change. You're dying. And it is 100% certain that everybody in this room is going to die. You can't stop that. I'm coming down the other side of the mountain. Some of you are just going up the mountain. But change. Listen, maintain your own morale. I can't motivate a soul. I hate motivational speakers, don't you? We can get wound up here on a Tuesday or on Wednesday, and Thursday we're right back in the dumpster where we were yesterday. You have to work at maintaining your own morale. You set your morale the minute your feet hit the floor in the morning and it's raining outside. You set your attitude for that day right there. Next, don't be a seagull manager when you're going through change. What's that mean? Don't fly in and dump on people. We don't need that. Next, take a mini vacation. Take a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or a Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You need it. I've got people come up to me, I haven't had a vacation in 5 years. You're crazy. You are stupid. You have to have the time. Talk out your stresses with a friend. I had one here in town, by the way, who I talked out stresses with on a Friday, and on Sunday he shot himself to death in front of his family at church. But he had 4,000 friends on Facebook. He had 221,000 friends on Twitter. But he was desperately calling out for a friend. Be a friend. I have a motto: treat every person you meet as if they were dead at midnight. You don't know who you're going to meet, who's going to be dead by next week. You should do that here. Well, you don't know who's going to show up next month for the luncheon. They could be dead. They could have gotten cancer. All kinds of stuff. In 2015, everybody in this room will be dead. For some of you, I'm going to tell you, it's a lot less than 100 years. The car you drove here, out here, in this parking lot, it's not going to matter. The size of the house you live in, it's not going to matter. Your portfolio, which you're building now, ain't going to matter. You're dead. And so when people come to pay respects to you at your funeral, and they pass your casket, they're not going to say, well, you know, he really wasn't real good with budgets. That don't mean a hoot. What makes the difference is the difference you made in the life of another human being. That's what's going to live on, folks. Not going to be all the stuff of life. It's going to be whether or not you made an impact in somebody's life today. Because listen, as we leave here today, this could be your last day. You don't know. You got no guarantee you're going to work tomorrow. So treat people as if it was their last day, and indeed, if it was your last day. Been great to be with you. Hope you take these things and put them into your life.
All right, that was awesome. You did everything I thought you were doing, Greg, except I thought there'd be an altar call at the end. We got close. We gotta get tangled in here. A round of applause for Greg Blake. Do you take questions? Would you take questions?
Sure.
He says he'll take a question. Anybody have a question for Greg? I mean, you listen to this, you don't have some little thing that comes out of your head, you think, wait, this will never work for me, right? I mean, these numbers are for other folks. This is never going to work where I go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Back and back. There's one.
What motivated the change?
What motivated the change for me?
Yeah.
Very simple. I was doing a lot of work with BMW suppliers, and was getting asked to speak all over the country because I started my business in 2001, exactly September 10th, 2001. That was not a good day to start a business. But I felt that I could impact more companies throughout the country than just one here in Greer. So I took the leap, didn't have a business plan, and did not have 6 months in savings. It was truly a leap of faith. And it's been phenomenal. Yep.
You mentioned Chick-fil-A. What do they do? So, what's the key to success?
They hire differently. They teach. Huh?
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, sure. They are, and Hans can even contemplate here because he used to manage the one on Woodruff Road. They believe in a whole servant management philosophy of it's not about me, it's all about them. They're just, their values are phenomenal. I mean, they're closed one day a week. And I tell people, I'm not asking you to be closed one day a week, but they are losing a ton of sales. But it's never affected them. Yeah.
I said I was satisfied with my job, and I actually do corporate meetings for Chick-fil-A.
Oh, good.
15 years. And, the intention for years, Kathy was asked, how much money did you lose by being closed on Sunday? And he said, that's never the issue. I think about how much money I would lose by not being closed on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of people think it's religious, but what he really said was, I believe it was about how he treated his people.
Yep.
And I believe that my people deserve a day of rest to spend with their family and friends, and Sunday just made the most sense. And so what they infuse and how they treat their people within the company
Yep.
is how their people are trained and want to treat the customer.
Yeah, and I would just tell two little things on that. Quarterly in your organization, you need to conduct a listening tour where you don't say a word, you just go out and listen. And then on every Friday, you should conduct a good job tour where you walk around and congratulate people for doing the job right. That means you got to know what they're doing, obviously, be able to do that. Yeah, cool, great questions. Good, thank you.
One more.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm curious, for somebody kind of like Jordan who's just starting out and doesn't even know, how do you go about figuring out what your passion is before work?
Yeah, sure. Two books. Number one, The Passion Plan by Richard Chang. The Passion Plan by Richard Chang. That's where that Passion Plan test came from. Fantastic book. The second book I'd highly recommend to you is Callings by Greg Lavoie. L-E-V-O-Y. Greg Lavoie. Callings, he's just written a book this last month, just came out, fantastic as well, called Vital Signs. But those three books are probably the best books to get you started on really finding what you've really been called to do. Yep. Cool.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks again.
Yep.
Great, Blake.